Hello and welcome back to my usually messy, but today carefully framed to crop out the mess, desk. And welcome back to my reading journal. I haven't made a reading journal video since my first one of the year, and this is now going to be my last one of the year. As you will notice if you have watched my previous reading journal video, my reading journal is a bit worse for wear. It has been carted around, it has had coffee spilled on it, and it is full, absolutely full of things inside. So it has been well loved, it has been written in and used, and today I'm going to show you the completed thing after nearly a year of using it. So I'll kind of whiz through the first few spreads because I did show you them in their unfilled in form at the start of the year, but let's get to it. Let's have a little look inside my reading journal. Now, when I first bought this, I thought, oh, the elastic's really loose, and I'm really glad because I filled it up in no time. So here's the cover page, which we've all seen before, just saying this is my reading journal. My next reading journal is a little bit different. I will probably show you that next month, so keep an eye out for that. It's also really interesting looking back. This is my first full year of doing a reading journal and seeing kind of how much my style has changed and how much more sort of confident I am in putting spreads together. So yes, here's the front cover. And I started off this journal with my non-fiction reading challenge. As you can see, I haven't read December's month yet. This is starting to curl up there in the spine. I haven't read December's book yet, but I have read a book for every other month of the year. Same thing with my Tudor challenge, except I've just finished my December book. I am really pleased with how this spread looks. This is one that I very much had like a vision for. I know it's very simple, but very much what it fits my vision. And when I first laid it out, it looked really sparse, and now that I filled it in, I think it's just the right level of things on the page. So yes, that's my Tudor TBR page. My physical TBR, I will whiz past this rather than shame myself with how many books I own and have not read yet. Same with my NetGalley shelf. So actually these two spreads I'm going to combine next year, just because my reading has changed a lot. As you can see with the number of arcs I have a lot more arcs than I did at the start of the year. I'm getting requests for a lot more arcs than I did at the start of the year. So I'm going to sort of combine these into one rather than have them as like two separate things. So that's my NetGalley shelf, my average pages. I set myself a goal at the start of the year to try to reach an average page count per book of 350 pages every month. As you can see, I failed. But what I really liked about this, and I'm going to keep this next year, even though I'm not going to set myself the same like hard and fast goal, is it did encourage me to read the longer books on my TBR, which is what I wanted it to do. So yes, it definitely, you know, if I was thinking, oh, I'll read this shorter one, I would think, no, I'll read a longer one and get my average pages up. So yes, it fulfilled its purpose. And Buzzwordathon, again, nearly finished this one, just my December one to go. And I'm going to do Buzzwordathon again next year because I really, really enjoyed it. It was so great. Just a completely different kind of challenge, something different every month. So yes, and then the last spread I think I showed you at the start of the year was my best books of the year. And I've come up with a new way of doing this for next year, which I think is going to look really cool. As you can see, I filled in all but one because December is not over. So these frames, I think I said last time, they're 9 squares by 13 squares, so 6.5 by 4.5 centimeters, which means if I print these off at a 6 by 4, I get a nice border on all of them. So yes, that's how I got these stuck in. So those are all of my sort of start of the year things that I showed you last time. And again, with my January spread, I think this is about where we stopped in my January video because I hadn't got any further than my January spread. I'm not going to show you every single page because this is my journal. You know, there are things I've written I don't necessarily want to put on the internet, but I am going to show you the opening pages and the reading challenge pages for every month. So here was my January spread, and I will mention as well, because I'm showing you this page, which has, I've labelled them as best, worst, longest, shortest for each month. Worst and best, but you know, worst is a relative term. There are some months that I only read 4- and 5-star books, so the worst book was a good book. So I just wanted to clarify that I'm not saying this is a bad book, whichever book is in that frame. Sometimes it is a bad book, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just the least best book I read that month. So yes, so January cover, and this is what my stats page looks like when it's filled out. So I read a lot of genres, so I've added, rather than write all of these genres down at the start of the month, I add a genre as I read them, because you will notice this list looks very different each month as to what I read that month. So yes, stats and my TBR page for January. Now, if I just flick through past everything I've written to February. So I have a theme every single month. I really like every page and every month to have a distinct kind of character and to be unique. I know lots of people have one theme for the whole of their journal. I would get bored doing that. I like having different things. And I think the theme for each month very much reflects my mood. And I always find it really funny looking back at my February month, because my partner and I got together at the end of January. So when I did my February setup, I was feeling very romantic. And so we've got a sort of love letters theme, kind of Valentine's Day, but not too flowery or over the top. So this is my February theme. And as you can see here, we've got completely different things, different genres on my genre list. And also on my TBR here on this side, so I have red or DNF, and I also have rollover, which is just my way of saying I plan on reading this book, but just not this month. Maybe I started it and wasn't in the mood. Maybe I just got around to reading a different book. So some of those books, most of those books are still on my TBR. So that's, oh, there's one more thing on February, which is Polathon. I am obsessed with this spread. I love it so much. This was my first time trying something completely different, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. The theme for Polathon this year was like explorers and voyages, if I remember correctly. So instead of doing my usual kind of like checklist of books and prompts, then I did a sort of journey, and I drew round the stamps without stamping them to make the circles, and then filled in the stamps every time I read a book, and put a list on this little thing here of what I had read. So kind of a vintage Arctic exploration theme for that readathon, and I love how this spread turned out, and the snowflakes are shiny as well. But yes, I am so pleased with this spread. Now jumping ahead to March. March is my least favourite month in terms of how I decorated. I wasn't really sure what theme I was going for. I can't even remember how I sort of defined it in my head. It's kind of spacey, but kind of vintagey and kind of dark academia, and it never really felt cohesive. So basically I had loads of these stickers, which I really love, and I still haven't quite figured out how to best use them. As I said, I'm not going to show you my actual journal pages. So on my journal pages, I do just write a list, write the title of the book and then my thoughts on it. And I decorate those pages as well, and I'm not going to show them to you because they have my own thoughts on the books. But yes, I felt like this theme, I like the first couple of pages, I think, but it felt quite difficult to get a kind of cohesive theme across March. But I did have 2 readathons in March. The first one is Tis the Damn Readathon, which is a Taylor Swift themed readathon, and it's the second one, so I thought I would subtitle it Taylor's version. This is basically the only time you see a handwritten header in this whole book. I can't do calligraphy, I can't do all the fancy writing, so I just use stamps usually, but I wanted another font for Taylor's version, so I hand wrote it in something that looks vaguely cohesive with the page. And yes, I've got this music paper, this piano washi tape, and I drew a few music notes in the corner as well for this one. And the other readathon I did in March was the Greek Godathon. And this one, I just had all these different bits and pieces. This is actually from a Wonder Woman sticker book, this one. So it's all different bits and pieces that I put together to get this kind of Greek god theme. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this one here, there we go, that's a Medusa sticker right there. And I'm really pleased with how this spread came out, that you've got all these different things. You know, this is from like a beach scrapbook paper pack. They're all from different sets, but they go really well together. I'm really pleased with how it came about. So skipping ahead to April now, I love the April pages. Let me just find it. They're all stuck together. There we go. I love these April pages. I had loads of hot air balloon stickers, and then I got some hot air balloon scrapbook paper, and I had loads of fun with the colours this month, as you can see with the washi tape here. Usually I go for kind of complementary colours, but because there were so many different colours on this page, I wanted to just have like completely wacky colours that I'd pulled out of this page. Hence the sort of pink and the mint green here. And I just carried on that hot air balloon kind of pastel theme throughout. I think it's really nice for April. It's a really nice kind of spring without being too floral. I'm not a big floral person, but I really like having a seasonal reading journal. So spring is a difficult time to pick themes for. So yes, I'm really happy with how the colours for this came out. And I just had lots of fun experimenting with different colour combinations throughout the sort of journal pages as well. So next up we have May, which I believe, if I remember correctly, was jungle themed. No, that's coming up next month. Plant themed for May. So yes, I usually, as you've already spotted, I have like a big pattern, but I quite liked this little leaf paper, so I went for more layers behind the title card here, and houseplant washi tape, of course. If you've got houseplant washi tape, you've got to use it, you know. So this is my opening May page. And again, a few like washi tape stickers on this page just to kind of add a little bit of decoration. This was such a great reading month. Like I said, sometimes the worst book was a 4-star book, as is the case in this month, that everything I read was either 4 or 5 stars. So the worst book is a bit misleading in a case like that. But yes, a very good reading month in May. June is the jungle theme. There we go. June is the tropical jungle theme. And I didn't have any full-size scrapbook paper that was jungle themed. So I had to get a bit inventive with sort of layering. And I quite like how it turned out. I don't think it's something I would do every month. I definitely generally prefer having just like a block colour. But I think for this theme especially, it really suited it. To have lots of different papers and different textures going on here. So there's the cover page for June and my stats and TBR page with some little tropical birds in the corners. I don't think, was there a readathon in June? No, there was not. I really should flick through this before I flick through it on camera. But hey, we can just see some zebras sticking out in the corner there. So July, there we go, July had a whales and dolphins theme. I am obsessed with this card. It is absolutely gorgeous and I love it so much. It's stunning. And the light, I don't know if you can see with the light in here, but that's like a silver stripe at the bottom of that washi tape. I really put my extensive washi tape collection to good use this year. I had loads of fun combining the colours. So yes, this is my July cover page. And this one here says, I whale always love you. It's so cute. And my July stats and TBR page. And as you can see in the little corners, I've just got sort of other whales and dolphins on every page for July. Luckily, I didn't read that many books in July. Well, I kind of did actually, now I look at it, but I didn't use that many pages, so I didn't run out of whale stickers. Okay, now August. I love the theme for August. I love the sunflowers. I do not know why I thought using yellow fine liner would be a good idea. So I still have my fine liner set from when I was in school, and I use a different fine liner every month that matches the theme, and I decided yellow would be the one to go for in August, and I regret it because when I was writing and sort of had my face really close to the journal, I could read it really well, and then as soon as you step back, you cannot read a thing. So, moral of the story, not to use yellow pen to write anything important. As you can see, my TBR list is unintelligible. Now, August, I have a massive TBR because I did some reading challenges, some readathons, and it was August. I was on holiday for most of August. I am self-employed and most of my work does not happen in August. So I had a lot of time to read. I read a lot of books, as you can see. And I also completed the Tropical Readathon. Oh, and actually, I forgot to tick that one off. Whoops. I have read a book for every prompt. I just forgot to tick that one off. So going back to the tropical theme, of course, for this reading spread, some lovely shiny washi tape and stickers and things here. I'd never been shopping at the Range before the start of this year. If you're in the UK, the Range has so many nice crafty things, stickers, scrapbook papers. I have to ration how often I go. Now the problem with this card is it does kind of stick, so it's a little bit of a knack to get the thing turned. But if I just, there we go, September. Now September, I decided to try something completely different. So instead of having a set theme, so like August rather, was sunflowers and bees. September, I was more going for a vibe. I was thinking Parisian autumn, sort of, you know, cycling to and from college. That's the atmosphere I was going for. This is another one where the worst book was in fact a great book because they were all 4 and 5 stars. And as you can see here, I really started to explore sort of more layered ways of decorating. Before to this, I was very much a stick a sticker in the corner and be done with it person. And I've kind of set myself a challenge in September to be a bit more experimental with how I laid things out. And I'm so happy with how it turned out. The only thing on this page, I wish I had stamped that key a little bit lower so it overlapped with the washi tape more. That was completely an accident. I just accidentally put it down too high up. But I'm so pleased with how this turned out. And this is kind of more how I decorate now. I've definitely lent into this a lot more. It's so much more fun. And part of this is also I decided to not do reading journals annually in the same way. So as you'll notice when you get to the end, this reading journal finishes at the end of November. So my thinking was initially, oh, well, I can't decorate too much because then I'll use up loads of space and then I won't have space for the whole year. And then I thought, you know what, it's fine. I will just put December at the start of my next journal. So I had loads of fun decorating. Oh, that's not a page I was going to show you. But you can kind of see in the corner here, again, that like layered thing. I just had so much fun decorating for this month. It was the best. And I finished off this month with I had a page free. So I put a little welcome to autumn page to introduce us to October, pumpkins galore, autumn leaves. Yes, October, I mean, it's everyone's favourite month, right? I had to do loads of autumnal decorations and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. So here's my cover page for October. And here is my stats and TBR page. I, as you can see, again, got a bit more confident with like layers and things. And I will show you this page of my journal because this corner is like my favourite thing I've ever made. I love it so much. And I also did the mixtape-a-thon in October. And this is my page for the mixtape-a-thon. So last month in this journal is November. November is a slightly less seasonal theme, although I feel like, because in November it is getting darker, it's getting closer to Christmas, but it's not quite Christmas, and it's also my birthday month. So my favourite colour, space things, it all kind of felt right, even though it's not necessarily the most seasonal choice I could have made. So here's my November cover page. You can't really see it very well, but this tape here has like constellations on it. And then here's my sort of opening page for November. Again, really enjoying exploring with layers a lot more and just being a little bit more adventurous in how I decorate everything. Now, if I flick forwards to the end of November, so I had a couple of pages left at the end, and I decided to make a, well, it's not really an index, it's a contents page at the back, but I called it an index because I had enough pages to put something in there, but not enough for the whole of December. So I started a new page with a list of every single page in this book, and then to be continued. And that is the end, the final page. There's one coffee stained flap at the back, and that is the end of this reading journal. In the interest of completion, because it is December and I feel like we should have a look at my December pages, here is my new reading journal. This is not my 2023 reading journal because it began in 2022. So instead, I have called it Volume 2. I'm going to save the cover pages for my January setting up my reading journal video. But if I can just find December, there we go. So here is my December opening spread. Now, last year for December, I went for a very Christmassy, it was red and green the whole way through, Santa on every page, you know, and it was just a bit much. But also it's December, I wanted it to be Christmassy. So I've used this backing paper, which is definitely Christmassy, but not overwhelmingly so. And I've gone for a black and gold theme all the way through December. So we've got this stars and this black sparkly washi tape, these frames ready to be filled in at the end of the month. Here's my TBR as it's currently standing, and my stats on this page. And I will flick ahead to show you some of the journal pages. This is my favourite one that I've done for December. We've got kind of shiny stickers and again this like layering thing here. So this is what the pages look like that I just write and journal in. Again, like I said, I just write the title of the book and then some bullet point thoughts on the book. So that is my 2022 reading journal. Let me know in the comments how you've got on with journaling, if there's any tips that you have for me or anything that you especially liked that you're going to be taking into your own journal. And if you would like to see my January reading journal video where I show you all of next year's setup, then make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Ta-ra for now.